welcome to today's session. I'm Ken Muraguri. I'm one of the trainers with the GMAT program. Today we'll be dealing with reading comprehension in verbal reasoning, and specifically how to deal with difficult passages when you come across them. So as we know, reading comprehension is all about your ability to extract the correct information from the passage. So it's not about just being able to read through a passage, but to be able to pinpoint exactly what is being asked for in your question. So as we recommend reading the passage, understanding it, and then moving on to the questions, some passages, this stage can be very difficult. So some can be difficult to understand and or extract information from. So this, of course, makes it hard to build a passage map, which we know is a crucial part of handling reading comprehension. So first of all, difficult passages do not necessarily mean the associated questions are difficult or vice versa. This means that you can have a difficult passage. So by difficult, I mean a passage that is a bit challenging to understand, but you have easy questions following. And I say easy, meaning that as long as you understand the passage, the questions can be quite easy to handle. And of course, you can have other very easy passages, but they do not necessarily have the easiest questions out there. So some of the factors that can make a passage difficult, so length. So you can have extremely long passages. So of course, that makes understanding the entirety of that passage a bit difficult. And then you can have the subject matter. So these mostly when it comes to passages relating to science, or not science only, but either subject that you find a bit difficult to understand, it can make a passage difficult. And then the language. You can find sometimes a very easy concept is presented in a language that is so difficult to understand that you end up spending a lot of time trying to understand this passage. So how are we supposed to handle these difficult passages? So first of all, when you see a hard passage, do not panic. So just, if you panic, just take a step back and take a breath, then start reading the passage slowly. So the main aim is you understand the passage from start to finish. So if you do not understand the first few sentences and assume that you will understand the rest of the passage, that will not happen. Because what happens is the message or the information in the passage is usually built up. So kind of introduced, and then something is built on top of this introduction and so on. So that by the time you get to the end of the passage, you have a whole complete picture built. So as you read, be flexible and creative in how you build your passage map. Because remember, the aim is understanding. So it doesn't mean that if normally your way of building a passage map is just summarizing a paragraph in a sentence. So paragraph 1 in a sentence, then paragraph 2 in another, then connecting the two. So if this is the way you build your passage map, which is how we recommend, you will find some of the difficult passages, these will not work, because the amount of information and details in the passage can't really allow you to summarize the passage that way. And yes, in as much as you can summarize it, you still have to know where to find the details. So when you read, make sure you understand every sentence, because again, if you do not understand every sentence, this summary it will not be possible. So understand every sentence, And then the summary can be an overview, but make sure that you have understood whatever that is in between, whatever that is not in that summary. Also, when building a passage map and trying to understand this is where, of course, even creativity comes in. You can build a mental picture or physical picture. So you say drawing a diagram, drawing a graph, drawing a sketch helps you understand whatever is in the passage. Do that. You have the writing materials, you have your pen, so make use of them. So whatever it takes to make sure that you understand this passage, please make sure to do that. And then use context to beat difficult jargon. So this is especially for the passages that are difficult because of the language that is used. So you do not have to understand every single word, but just understand how it's used, where it's used, and why it's used that way. That way you do not have to waste your time trying to figure out the meaning of a word that you do not know. So with this in mind, you will be able, one, to break down difficult passages in a way that you yourself can understand. And that way, when a question comes, it will be very, very, very easy to pinpoint exactly where your answer is. So we have an example of a reading comprehension that's a bit difficult. So you guys just pause. I'll go over the questions, pausing for a few seconds. So just pause on a question, try it, then unpause, go to the next question, try it. And then at the end, we will discuss the questions and how to approach this comprehension. Here's a question. And question 5, the last question. Okay, so I'll try to break down these passages, and these I found it interesting because if you try to understand it kind of like words, it will be quite difficult. So for me, such things, and we will see why, I find it easier to kind of visualize it. So let's just break down the passage. So a meteor stream is composed of dust particles that have been ejected from a parent comet at a variety of velocities. These particles follow the same orbit as the parent comet, but due to their differing velocities, they slowly gain on or fall behind the disintegrating comet until a shroud of dust surrounds the entire cometary orbit. So up to there, we know, let's assume this is a comet. And then there are dust particles being ejected from this parent comet. So say it's moving forward. So you have dust particles, and according to those two first sentences, you'll have dust particles behind the trajectory and in front of the trajectory, depending on their velocities. Then astronomers have hypothesized that a meteor stream, so these now, the cloud of dust is the meteor stream, should broaden with time as the dust particle individual orbits are perturbed by planetary gravitational fields. So if this now is the wind of that stream. So with time, it should widen. A recent computer modeling experiment tested these hypotheses by tracking the influence of planetary gravitation over a projected 5,000-year period on the positions of a group of hypothetical dust particles. So in the model, the particles are randomly distributed through a computer simulation of the orbit of an actual meteor stream, the GMAT. The researcher found, as expected, that the computer model stream broadened with time. So this model, it confirmed this, that this stream broadens with time. Conventional theories, however, predicted that the distribution of particles would be increasingly dense toward the center of a meteor stream. So if you look at this view, so conventional theories expected that at the center, it would be very dense, and then it would get less dense as you moved away from the center. So surprisingly, the computer model meteor stream gradually came to resemble a thick-walled hollow pipe. So this is conventional. And then the model determined that kind of looks like a hollow pipe. So kind of like that. So meaning at the center, there is no really dust particles, but at the edge, so the particles kind of form a hollow pipe. Okay, so that's paragraph 1. And then paragraph 2, whenever the earth passes through a meteor stream, a meteor shower occurs. So this is a meteor stream. Remember, this is at the cross-sectional view. So the orbit is moving either towards us or away from us. And this is now the lateral view. So this is the comet moving this way. Okay, so when the earth passes through a meteor stream, so according to this computer model, the meteor stream now is this. So the earth, maybe the earth's orbit is this way. So it's kind of moving through the stream. A meteor shower occurs, because remember, these are dust particles. So if the earth passes through, we now have a meteor shower. So moving at a little of 1.5 million miles per day around its orbit, the earth would take on average just over a day to cross the hollow computer model GMAT stream, if the stream was 5,000 years old. So if this stream was 5,000 years old, the earth would move from here to here in a little bit over a day. So 2 brief periods of peak meteor activity during the shower will be observed. One as the earth entered the thick walled pipe, and one as exited. So of course, these from here to here, you would have that now peak meteor activity. And then once it's inside kind of the empty part of this pipe, that now would be the gap. And then once it hits the wall on exiting this pipe, so here, from here to here, you'd have another peak. So now this is the movement of the earth in this case. And then there's no reason why the earth should always pass through the extreme's exact center. So the time interval between the 2 bursts of activity would vary from one year to the next. So this means that, of course, if the earth is passing through here, that's the trajectory. And so let me just do another image for that. So this is our hollow pipe. So the earth can pass this way, or it can pass this way. Of course, you see the time between those two peaks will differ from year to year. Okay, has the predicate twin peaked activity, so twin peaked activity, so one peak, two peak, or if the Earth was moving this way, one peak, two peak, so that's the twin peaked activity between observed for the actual yearly Gemini meteor shower. So has the predicted twin peaked activity been observed for the actual yearly Gemini meteor shower? So remember, these we are talking about the computer modeling. So now we are asking, does it actually happen and has it been observed? So the Gemini data between 1970 and 79 showed just such a bifurcation, a secondary burst of meteor shower activity being clearly visible at an average of 19 hours. So it shows that between this point and this point, between 1970 and 79 was an average of 19 hours. So the time intervals between the bursts suggest that the actual Gemini stream is about 3,000 years old. Remember, in our model, if the stream was 5,000 years old, the Earth would take approximately 24 hours between those two bursts. But between 70 and 79, it was an average of 19 hours, meaning because of course the stream keeps growing, it would be around 3,000 years. So going through that passage that way, you kind of can visualize what the author was trying to project. So you don't necessarily have to use words to try to understand the passage. You can also use visual imagery if that's possible, and that will help in understanding some of the complex passages. So let's go to our questions. So question 1, the author states that the research described in the first paragraph was undertaken in order to research. So a recent computer modeling experiment. So that's the research. So why was it being carried out? So the recent experiment tested these hypotheses. So it's an hypothesis that has been presented before this sentence. So going back, so astronomers have hypothesized that a meteor stream should broaden with time as the dust particles' individual orbits are perturbed by planetary gravitational fields. So the hypothesis is that a meteor stream should broaden with time. So going to our answer choices. So A, determine the age of an actual meteor stream. So we are talking about age, but we're just saying that the stream should widen with age. So we are not really trying to determine the age, but determine if it's actually true that it broadens with time. A is out. B, identify the various structural features of meteor streams. So that's not mentioned anywhere in our passage. C, explore the nature of a particularly interesting meteor stream. Again, it's not really mentioned that way, unless if you personally think that these meteor streams are interesting, which now is not information presented in our passage. D, test the hypothesis that meteor streams become broader as they age. So they should broaden with time. That's exactly what the passage says. And then E, show that a computer model could help explaining actual astronomical data. So that's not what the passage says. So E is out, and B is our answer.
You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Upstack America. Upstack America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.upstakeamerica.com. Upstake America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential.
Moving on to question 2. It can be inferred from the passage that which of the following would most probably be observed during the Earth's passage through a meteor stream if the conventional theories mentioned in the highlighted text were correct. Sorry, these are the conventional theories. Okay, so it can be inferred from the passage that which of the following would most probably be observed during the Earth's passage through a meteor stream if the conventional theories mentioned in the highlighted text were correct. So remember we said this is the conventional one. So the conventional one says that it would be dense at the center and less dense on the outside. So knowing that, so this is kind of how it would look. Then we have less dense dust particles on the outside. So we are assuming now the Earth is passing through. So what would be most probably observed? So of course we have less, say, not very intense meteor showers as it enters. Then on reaching the center, it just gets to its peak and then gradually reduces. So kind of like is so in intensity. So A, meteor activity would gradually increase to a single intense peak, then gradually decline. So that's exactly what we would expect, because again, it's dense at the center and less dense as you move out. So let's keep A. B, meteor activity would be steady throughout the period of the meteor shower. So this is not the case, because unless the distribution of the dust particles would be even all through the circumference, this would not happen. C, meteor activity would rise to a peak at the beginning and at the end of the meteor shower. We know these would happen if we take this computer model string, because it says that the stream would resemble a thick walled polypine. So this is when we would observe that. So C is out. The random bursts of very high meteor activity would be interspersed with periods of very little activity. So this is if the distribution was kind of random. So this is when this would happen, not here. E, in years in which the Earth passed through only the outer areas of a meteor stream, meteor activity would be absent. So this would mean that these particles, they do not exist. You just have dust particles at the center and nothing on the outside. So it would not be absent, it would probably be less intense. For that reason, E is out. A is our answer. So our question 3. According to the passage, why do the dust particles in a meteor stream eventually surround a comet's original orbit? So this is the first thing that we did here. So these particles, so here, These particles follow the same orbit as the parent comet, but due to their differing velocities, they slowly gain on or fall behind the disintegrating comet until a shroud of dust surrounds the entire cometary orbit. So we know now it's because of velocities. That's why the extreme eventually surrounds a comet original orbit. So A, they are ejected by the comet at different velocities. So that's exactly what we have seen. B, the orbits are uncontrolled by planetary gravitational fields. So, of course, that's this is a detailed question, and that's not the reason why the dust particles eventually surround the comet's orbit. They become part of the meteor stream at different times. So this may be true, but it's not the reason why they surround the comet's orbit. D, the velocity slows over time. So we do not know what happens over time. We just know that they have differing velocities. E, the ejection velocity is lower than that of the comet. Again, the ejection velocity, we know that some of these velocities are higher than the other, and we're talking about ejection velocity. If you look back, we have their differing velocities. So it's just the speed at which they are traveling, in as much as, of course, we have here, they have been ejected from a parent comet at a variety of velocities. So again, the ejection velocities varies, and sometimes it's faster than the velocity of the comet. And again, so this option kind of insinuates that the comet also has an ejection velocity. So it's kind of not the case. So we have our answers here. So question 4, the passage suggests that which of the following is a prediction concerning meteor streams that can be derived from both conventional theories mentioned in the highlighted text and the new computer-derived theory. So conventional theories are dense center and less dense on the outside. And then new computer-derived theory that the stream resembles a thick-walled hollow pipe. So A, dust particles in a meteor stream will usually be distributed evenly throughout any cross-section of the stream. So both theories would actually disagree with that. So A is out. B, the orbits of most meteor streams should cross the orbit of the Earth at some point and give rise to a meteor shower. So we know that the Earth can cross a meteor stream. We do not know that the Earth will cross meteor stream, but we do not know that the Earth will cross all these or most of these meteor streams. This is not mentioned anywhere in our passage. C, over time, the distribution of dust in a meteor stream will usually become denser at the outside edges of the stream than at the center. So these, the computer-derived theory would agree, but the conventional theory would not, because it's actually the opposite. So both of them are opposites. But the computer-derived theory is denser on the outside, or the conventional theory is denser at the center. D, meteor showers caused by older meteor streams should be, on average, longer in duration than those caused by very young meteor streams. Remember that according to the passage, streams expand with time. So this means that D would actually be correct in both cases. So keep D. E, the individual dust particles in older meteor stream should be on average smaller than those that compose younger meteor stream. So now we are talking about the size of the dust particles, which we do not have any information on according to the passage. So E is out, and D is our answer. So remember, we have here an hypothesis that meteor stream should broaden with time, and a computer modeling experiment tested that, and as expected, it broadened with time. So that's why both of these theories agree with answer option D. And then our last question, which of the following is an assumption underlying the last sentence of the passage? Here's our last sentence. The time intervals between the bursts suggest the actual Geminid stream is about 3,000 years. So time intervals, this is where we are saying, so the time interval here, because now it's 19 hours. And what do we know about this time interval? We know from here that with the speed of the Earth, it would take just over a day to cross the Geminid stream if the stream was 5,000 years old. So because we know it expands with time, if it takes less time to cross, that means the stream is narrower, that means it's younger. So that's why this time interval now suggests that the stream is about 3,000 years old, because the time the Earth uses to cross is shorter. So going to our answer options, A, in each of the years between 1970 and 79, the Earth took exactly 19 hours to cross the Geminid meteor stream. So if you look here, just show such a bifurcation, secondary burst of meteor activity being clearly visible at an average. So an average doesn't mean exactly 19 hours. It means over those 9 or is it 10 years, the average of the time that the Earth used to cross was 19 hours. So it's not exactly 19 hours. B, the comet associated with the Geminid meteor stream has totally disintegrated. So nowhere in the passage do we have any information on this specific comet that causes the Geminid meteor stream. So we do not know if it has disintegrated or not. C, the Geminid meteor stream should continue to exist for at least 5,000 years. So this is a misinterpretation of this simulation. So it's completely wrong. D, the Geminid meteor stream has not broadened as rapidly as the conventional theories would have predicted. So we do not know the rate at which it should have expanded. It was just simulated that if it was 5,000 years, this is the amount of time that the Earth would take to cross. So this is not the case. E, the computer model Geminid meteor stream provides an accurate representation of the development of the actual Geminid stream. So this is actually the case because having this result 5,000 years old and the time it would take to cross, so just over a day, we can extrapolate this and calculate that if it takes an average of 19 hours, so how old was the Geminid stream in 1970 or 1979. So that's how they came about the 3,000 years by extrapolation. So they assumed that the computer model meteor stream provides an accurate representation of the development of the actual Geminid stream. So because it's a model, and they use the information in the model to predict the age of the actual Geminid stream. So is our answer. So I hope we can see that if you understand, as long as you understand the passage, regardless of how you understand it, and you understand the actual content that the author wanted, the questions become relatively easy to handle. So keep practicing on these, on how to build a passage map, in different ways that you can build your passage map to enable you to understand the passage, and reading comprehension will keep getting easier. So thank you for watching. That was our lesson today. So for more content, please join our training programs and visit our website for more information. Thank you guys, and see you in our next lesson. Bye.